Sanye Joda Zoge Jonamda Chanju Bardu Dani Dola Benjir Sanye Rubaresho Sanye Joda Zoge Chonam Chanju Bardu Dani Gyapsu Che Dage Chinso Kebe Sonamgi Dola Benjir Sanye Rubaresho Sanye Joda Zoge Chonam Chanjo Bardo Dane Gyapsu Che Dage Jinso Kebe Sonam Dola Penjir Sanye Drubare Sho Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Yevatat Desham Chayo Niroda Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Svaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Yevatat Desham Chayo Niroda Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Svaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Yevatat Desham Chayo Niroda Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Svaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation as well as taught by the great seer. Okay. This last session, we talked about the emptiness, and some of you raised the question that how do we know that what I am meditating on, that is the actual emptiness. So for that, there are two things that we need to know. One is the positive and the negative phenomena. The concept of positive and negative phenomena. The positive, in Tibetan it is dupa, and negative is gapa, dupa. In English, positive, negative. And positive, negative has many connotations. Positive as something, say the positive thinking, or say the wholesome, whereas negative is destructive. Sometimes positive is destructive, negative is constructive, right? You agree? Sometimes positive is destructive. Like what? COVID positive, that is destructive. COVID negative, you are very happy. So sometimes positive, oh, here's a very positive thinking, this is positive. Here's a very negative thinking, it's very negative, very wrong. Okay, so it has many connotations, many meanings, and we are not to be too rigid. So we should be very sympathetic. In other words, we should be very, they say, the observant. We should be a good listener to the other person, whoever uses this word positive and negative. So what we are learning here, positive and negative, Gapa and Duba, this has nothing to do with wholesome or unwholesome. This is very neutral in the sense of being wholesome or unwholesome. It is a very different connotation. What is positive, what is negative? This we have to know. If you don't know this, there's a danger that what you're meditating may not be emptiness at all. Okay, and then once you are introduced to this concept, you come to know that's very true. So this is one of the things to shape me to get to the correct emptiness. Okay. What's a positive phenomena? What is a negative phenomena? First, let me tell you that, okay, I don't know what happened. Today when you pick up one flower, all the flowers come up. Okay. Let's say that what is in my left hand? A flower. How do you know that there's a flower in my left hand? How do you know that? I can see that. So in other words, here there's an object. There's an object as though like it tells you that I am the flower. You're getting it? There's a phenomenon there which tells you that I am the flower. Okay. Now what is in my right hand? Is there flower? No flower. So but there's the absence of flower. Right? There's the absence of flower. Okay. How do you know the absence of flower in my right hand? How do you know this? I don't see anything. Right? Okay. So in the dark, you also know that there's no flower in my hand? Because you don't see anything in the dark. Right? So how? Okay, look. This is very important. So here, in the dark, you don't see anything in my left hand also. But it doesn't mean that there's no flower in my left hand. But here, in my right hand, you say that there's no flower there. There's absence of flower there. How do you know the absence of flower in my hand? Right? So simply because you don't see it, doesn't mean that you are seeing the absence of the flower. Right? So how do you see the absence of flower? This is very interesting. Anyone? How do you describe it? Yes.
It is possible that you can have a flower in your hand because there is an
Here, in my right hand.
There is a possibility of it being there.
There's a possibility. So.
The chance of it existing actually exists.
Okay. Same. How do you know the absence of flower in my right hand? How do you know this? There's a possibility of having the flower in your right hand. Then? Here, Chelsea? Huh?
You know the presence of the flower.
You know the presence of the flower. So
you would also know the absence of the flower because the flower was previously there.
So therefore, in the dark, you will say that in my left hand there's no flower.
Say that again.
In dark, you see that there's the absence of, there is no flower in my left hand.
If I saw the flower.
Because you already know what a flower is. You know the presence of flower, right? And you don't see the flower now. In dark, do you mean to say that you are seeing the absence of flower in my right hand?
But what I'm saying is, if you didn't know the presence of the flower,
No. So you already know that.
Yes.
You all know that. Without light, if I raise without light in at 12 a.m. sharp, pitch dark, right? So, say do you see is there flower in my left hand? There's no light at all. Huh?
I wouldn't know.
Okay. Actually, I'm holding, but you should say that I'm seeing the absence of flower, because you know what is the presence of flower is like. You know that, right? And now you're not seeing the presence of flower, because there's no light there. Okay. Yes. Is there?
Maybe you can see the flower here, and then in the next moment compare it to the other hand and see that there's no flower there.
Okay. No comparison now. Still, so which means you don't see the absence of flower? There's no comparison? Okay, this is interesting. You're getting it? This is interesting. So, how do you know the absence of flower in my right hand is are you sure that you are seeing the absence of flower in my right hand? Are you sure?
Yes.
Hey.
Yes.
Raise up those who are sure. Okay, Yangala, are you sure? Not sure. You're not sure. Yangala, are you not sure? Hey, look. In my right hand, there's no flower, there's flower. There's no flower. Are you sure? Yes, you are sure. Ajuke-san is not sure. You are sure. Okay. So in my right hand, there's no flower. You are 100% sure. How do you know that the absence of flower in my right hand? How do you know that? Yes. You can see. You can see the absence of flower. How do you see that?
There's no substance.
There's no substance. How do you know that there's no substance there?
My eye consciousness can see it.
Can see what?
A sense of the flower.
How does it see it? Okay, I agree with you, but it is a little difficult to explain it. I agree with you. Okay, so let us put it like this. How do you know the flower? There's object there to say that I am the flower. You agree with me? But with the absence of flower, there's no object to say that I am the absence of flower. So how do you know the absence of flower? Is by explicitly negating the presence of the flower. You're getting it? How do you cognize the absence of flower? Is by cognizing. It cognizes the absence of flower by explicitly negating the presence of the flower. You're getting it? It negates. The flower is not there. This is your mental consciousness. Your mental consciousness says that there's no flower there. It is cognized through explicitly negating the presence of the flower. This is how you know the absence of flower. So, what is the negative phenomenon? So, the absence of flower is a negative phenomenon. Negative here doesn't mean unwholesome, destructive. No, it simply means that it is in the context of how you cognize the object. Okay, when you cognize the object, so negative phenomenon, I'm going to define it. A negative phenomenon is phenomena which a mind cognizes. A negative phenomenon is a phenomenon which a mind cognizes through explicitly negating the object of negation. A negative phenomenon is a phenomena which a mind cognizes through explicitly negate the object of negation, like absence of the flower. You explicitly negate the presence of the flower. That is how you come to know the absence of the flower. Whereas, what is a positive phenomenon? Positive phenomenon is a phenomena which a mind cognizes not through explicitly negating the object of negation. A positive phenomena is a phenomena which a mind cognizes not through explicitly negating the object of negation. Do you want me to repeat or not repeat?
Yes.
What yes? Yes repeat or no repeat? Huh? Yeah, repeat. Okay, first, negative phenomena. It's a phenomena which a mind cognizes through explicitly. This word, explicit, this must be added. If you don't add this, you'll be in trouble. Negative phenomena is a phenomena which a mind cognizes through explicitly negating the object of negation. Negative phenomena is a phenomena which a mind cognizes through explicitly negating the object of negation. Positive phenomena is a phenomena which a mind cognizes through not explicitly negating the object of negation. That's positive phenomena. You got it? Okay. Now let me give you some examples and you tell me whether positive or negative. A book, positive or negative phenomena? Positive. Wonderful, that's amazing. Okay, COVID-19, positive, negative?
Positive.
Positive phenomena, good. Human being, positive, negative?
Positive.
Positive. Okay. Good. So, let's say that let's say that the Buddha has no afflictions, positive, negative. Buddha has no afflictions. Huh? Positive, negative? Oh, Buddha is so wholesome. It should be positive. Don't say negative, it's very unwholesome to say that. No, don't worry about it. Right? Buddha has no afflictions. Positive, negative? Huh? Positive, negative? Answer is negative. Because to cognize the Buddha being freed, Buddha being absent of afflictions, you have to cognize this through explicitly negate the presence of afflictions in the Buddha's mind. Right? This is a negative phenomenon. Buddha does not have afflictions. Yes?
But they have a subjective Buddha.
Somebody say, you already know what Buddha is. Simply you want to know whether the Buddha has affliction or not. So I said Buddha does not have affliction. So that part is the emphasis. You're getting it? Okay. Absence of afflictions in the Buddha's mind. What is positive, negative? Negative. Very good. Okay. Impermanence. Positive, negative. Impermanence. Positive, negative. How many you say negative resonance? Impermanence. Impermanence is you negate permanence, right? So, how many you will say a negative resonance? Impermanence. Irregular. Positive, negative. Regular, irregular. Irregular. Positive, negative? Negative. Okay. Permanent, impermanent. Positive, negative? Huh? Permanent, impermanent. So impermanent is the positive, negative? Negative. Okay, now the number of negatives is increasing. Okay, so this is a huge debate. It's simply don't get stuck with the labels. You're getting it? Don't get stuck with the labels. Even though the label seems negative, the content can be positive. You're getting it? Sometimes the label can be positive, but the content can be negative. Referent can be negative. Okay. And impermanence, whether it's positive or negative, there's a huge debate among the scholars, right? If you disagree, don't worry. Even the scholars, big scholars, they don't agree. Okay, don't worry. Now what is it? The absence of objective existence. Positive, negative? Yangala. Absence of objective existence. Positive, negative? Yangala. La? Negative. How many agree with Yangala? Raise your hands. Oh, many agree with her. Yes, answer is correct. Emptiness is always negative phenomena. It is never a positive phenomena. You getting it? If you don't know the distinction between positive and negative phenomena, you may be meditating on positive phenomena and you think that you're meditating on emptiness. So, what you meditate on, if it's a positive phenomena, 100% you are not meditating on emptiness. So, emptiness must be meditated as a negative phenomena, not as a positive phenomena. This is one very important point that we need to know. You're getting it? This is a benefit. So the deeper studies, more extensive studies, more technical studies, they will really give you the proper understanding of what emptiness is. This is how we can hope to get away from samsara. Okay, next. Negative phenomena, again we see that there are two divisions. Negative phenomena, two divisions are there. Affirming negative, non-affirming negative. Affirming negative, non-affirming negative. Okay, I'm going to ask you a question, and in fact, let's say that there's an interview, job interview. There's a job interview. You know what that job interview is? Okay, who are interested in this job interview? How many are interested in this job interview? Raise hands. Job of sweeping? Okay. What would you say? What's the job? Ask this first before you say like this. All right. What is the job? The job is very interesting. To be the chief attendant of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. How many like to apply those hands? Very good, all of us. Okay. Now say I'm the interviewer, right? So I'll see whether you are fit to be the attendant of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, right? Okay. So you come in, and then I tell you that okay, I just personify myself as His Holiness. So I said that okay, you come to serve me breakfast, and I say that I don't drink coffee. So what will you serve me? Reasons. Okay, Tenzo Dongala will serve me tea, right? Okay. Anyone else? What will you serve me?
Ask if you want to drink.
Huh?
I would
Why not tea?
You didn't say you wanted to.
But I do not say I don't want tea also.
Which is why I should ask you to specify.
So therefore, why not? Why don't you serve tea? Why don't you serve water? Why don't you serve, some juice?
I would be imposing my own ideas.
Okay, anyone else? Chamjula is a former attendant. He already knows. Right? Anyone else? What will you serve me? Huh? Okay, you will serve me anything other than coffee, right? Tea, water, juice, whatever. Okay, the Tuzi? No, Hussein. You will serve anything. Rajni, what will you serve?
I would also like to ask.
Okay, you also like to ask. Anyone else? What will you serve? Okay, Tezi Pendol, you are interested to become the chief attendant? What will you serve? Tell me. You'll ask. Okay. Okay, Parag.
Yeah.
What will you serve?
I think like whatever you like.
Okay.
Whatever you like.
What is that thing which I like?
Anything you can do.
Anything. Water. Okay. Okay. So they say Chelsea, Rajni, and then the Tenzin Pendola. Three of them passed the interview. All others failed. Because I just said I do not. Hey, this is the one that you failed. I said that the only information that I gave you is that I do not drink coffee. That's it. I did not give you any extra information. You're getting it? That I drink tea, I don't say. I drink anything which I like, I don't say this. You're getting it? I may not be drinking anything at all. I must, at the most I may take one bread, that's it. Who knows? You're getting it? I do not give you any extra information. So therefore, the wise person should ask me, what do you want? What do you like to have? Right? So this is known as okay, by the way, not drinking coffee, positive, negative. Hey, not drinking coffee, positive, negative. Good, it's a negative phenomenon. Within negative, it does not give you any additional information. Therefore, this is known as non-affirming negative. You're getting it? Non-affirming negative. Like not drinking coffee. This is non-affirming negative. Okay. Now, let's say that, okay, now it's not about the interview for His Holiness's attendant, right? So I just give you the information that I don't eat any food in the night time. I don't eat any food in the night time, and I'm a very ordinary person. I'm a very ordinary person. I have no spiritual samadhis like this, just ordinary person. But I'm very healthy. Very healthy. For the last 55 years, I'm very healthy, and I never eat in the night time, right? So if you have to give me food, when will you give me food? Huh? In the daytime. But I do not say that I eat in the daytime. Huh? Daytime?
It could be morning.
Morning is also daytime.
Morning breakfast, then lunch.
No, morning is not day, or is day or night? It's day. So what he said is correct, not correct? You agree or not agree?
I agree, but it's
Okay, so when you will serve, yes, Purila. Say it again. Okay, what Purila, do you mean to say that you agree with your name? Do you mean to say you agree with Prerak? What he said is that then he will serve the food in the daytime. Okay, you agree. How many agree with Prerak reasons? Okay, all of you agreed. But I do not tell you that I eat in the daytime. Huh? Huh? I do not eat in the night, so what? But I'm healthy, number one. I'm ordinary person, I have to eat. So, which means there must be a time when I eat. It's not in the night time. And the other option, only option left is daytime. This is implied. So what Pujila said, this implied. Yes, correct. So this is known as affirming negative. Although you do not directly say this, it affirms something, right? You explicitly negate something. You explicitly negate eating in the night time, but it implies eating in the daytime. So it affirms something. This is known as affirming negative. Okay, guess emptiness is a positive or negative phenomena? Negative. Affirming negative, non-affirming negative?
Non-affirming negative.
Okay, emptiness is always non-affirming negative. If ever somebody is supposed to be meditating on emptiness, if the person meditating on a non-affirming negative, it is not emptiness, that's for sure. You're getting it? So if you don't know these concepts, positive, negative, affirming negative, non-affirming negative, then there's no way by which you can evaluate whether you are actually meditating on emptiness or not meditating on emptiness. There's no there's no way by which you can evaluate that. So if you know the positive, negative, within negative, affirming, non-affirming, then okay, the object that's coming to your mind is positive, so this is not emptiness, so I should meditate on emptiness. Then you look for something which is negative phenomenon. Within negative, what I'm meditating is like affirming negative, it affirms something, so this is not emptiness. I need to, so see that the emptiness that I should meditate on is non-affirming negative. Okay, good? Good. Now let me say, emptiness, right? When you meditate on emptiness, that you should be able to hold on to emptiness, grab the emptiness, get hold of the emptiness and sustain that experience for long. And let's see how many of us can sustain the emptiness experience for long. Okay, do you know how to check it? Okay, you tell me. I will show you some things and you tell me, you identify the object. What is this? Quick, what is this? What is this? What is this? Okay, what is this? And what is this? Clock. Okay. Did you notice one thing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I asked 6 questions. And all the answers that you gave, they are positive, negative, non-affirming, affirming. What is that? All answers are positive phenomena. You're getting it? When I say, what is this? You can say the absence of chocolate. Is it correct or not correct? Is it correct or not correct? What is this? Absence of chocolate. Is it correct or not correct? You're getting it? What is this? This is not a dirty flower. Not a dirty flower. It's a negative phenomena. But we are all addicted to seeing things as positive phenomena. You're getting it? This is where our mind is so addicted to seeing positive phenomena. Your mind is not at all designed or habituated to look for non-affirming negative. Because of which our mind to sustain the experience of non-affirming is very difficult. We are so addicted to seeing things as positive phenomena. Okay, so having said this, let's say that, okay, so do you agree with me that when we meditate the emptiness of flower, first you see the flower, yes? Okay, with the self, first you see the self as positive, negative. And then you subject the self to ultimate analysis, then you see what? You see the, let's say 6 elements. 6 elements, and some people, okay, where is the self? Self is not there, just the 6 elements is there. Just they stay in the experience of 6 elements. Self is dissolved, and 6 elements there, just abide in this experience of the 6 elements. 6 elements, positive, negative. positive phenomena. People spend years and years thinking that they're meditating on emptiness. Just when the self dissolves in the experience of ultimate analysis, and then the 6 elements pop in the mind, they stay in this experience. They think they're meditating on emptiness. Right? Is the meditation emptiness? Why not? Because the object that this mind is meditating on is not a negative phenomena, it is a positive phenomena. So if you meditate on positive phenomena, it is never emptiness. You can be 100% sure. Even if somebody claims that I've been meditating on emptiness for the last 20 years. How do you meditate on emptiness? You ask the person, okay, first you subject yourself to ultimate analysis, you see where the self is, none of the 6 elements is the self. You just see the self, the 6 elements, and the self dissolves, and 6 elements is there. Just in this experience of 6 elements. This is how you meditate on emptiness. This is how I meditate on emptiness for the last 20 years. You can very confidently say that you have not meditated on emptiness. You getting it? Why? Object that you are meditating on is a positive phenomena, while emptiness should necessarily be negative phenomena, particularly non-affirming negative. You're getting it? This is how you can be very sure of what you got. So we see that there are different ways of seeing this. Let's say you can see the self. You can look at this. You can look at, when you look at yourself, you see as the self. You see as the 6 elements. You see as the atoms. You're getting it? You see as the atoms. You see as the absence of chocolate. You see as the absence of objective existence. There are so many things you can see. And of these things, what is the emptiness? Of the so many things which you can potentially see when you look at the self. When you look at yourself, do you see yourself as a self? Hey, when you look at yourself, do you see yourself? Is there the possibility that you can see yourself as a self? Can you see yourself as composed of 6 elements? Yes. Can you see yourself as empty of being a chocolate? Yes. Can you see yourself as empty of being permanent? Yes. It is not permanent, it's impermanent, right? And can you see yourself as empty of objective existence? Yes, there are so many ways by which you can see the self in the aspect of which of the aspect you have to identify as the emptiness of the self. What is that? Emptiness of objective existence of the self. Of all these different possibilities, you have to pick up only that part. Okay, to know this, how to pick up the right one, we need to understand what is known as entities and isolates. You getting it? Okay, now this is a very important concept here. Entities and isolates. I'm going to quickly explain this. Okay, entities and isolates. Okay, let's say that the okay, okay, how many things are there in my left hand? 1. What is that? The book. Okay, the book is there. And the color of the book is also there. Color of the book is also in my hand. Yes. The shape of the book is also in my hand. Yes. Shape of the book and the book. Are these two one or these two are different? Shape of the book and the book. These two are one or these two are different? Hey, these two are one or these two are different? Brooke? Very different. Wow, this is what we require. This is the answer I'm expecting. Very different, very sure. Very different means more than one. Okay, there are more than one things. How many things are there in my hand? No, I'm not asking inside, outside. I'm asking how many things are in my hand? One, not more than one. Which means the book is not there. The color of the book is there. So they are very different.
It is the quality that
They are very different or not? Very different. Then they are very more than one. Different means more than one, and very you add the word, it becomes very more than one. Right? Huh? Only one. Which means these two are not different. The book and the color of the book. What is here? Very different or not very different? Huh? Very different. Very different means very more than one. More than, which means minimum two. More than two. Okay, so how many things are in my hand? More than two. Okay, look, did you see something in Parag? Answer that he's giving is very honestly giving. You're getting it? And yet he got stuck. He got stuck means there's some problem there. If you say one, it contradicts with the reasons or the logics. It contradicts with the logics. Whereas if you say two, then people will send you to mental hospital. Because there's only one thing. You're getting it? Okay. So how to resolve this? If you say one, then it contradicts with the logic. If you say more than one, people will send you to mental hospital. What should you do, Chelsea?
There has to be a method.
Huh?
There has to be a method.
There should be some. Yes, there should be some solution there, right? So what kind of solution? NCC and NTC. Oh, she's saying that you have to join the what? What is that? Those brochures, right? NMC, NTC.
No, I said entities and isolates.
Okay, so she is saying entities and isolates, which you have to learn from NMC and NTC. Is what you're saying? Okay. So for this, you have to, this will be resolved only if you know the concept of entities and isolates, without which there is no way by which you can resolve these issues. And not only resolving this issue, it is a tremendous benefit for you to pick up the correct emptiness. Again, this is the benefit. Just pick up the correct emptiness. In the context of the question that I asked you this morning, so what comes to your mind when we talk about, okay, now we're going to jump into the pool of emptiness, right? What do you expect to learn from? Some of you said how to precisely pick up what emptiness is. Okay, for this, we have to know the concept of entities and isolates, right? And so if the question is the book and the color of the book, are these one different? These two are different. And then how many things are there in my hand? One, there's a problem. It contradicts the logic. More than one, then it contradicts the conventional norm. So what do you do? How to resolve this? So for this, this can be resolved by knowing the concept of entities and isolates. What is meant by entities? What is meant by isolates? You're getting it? Don't try to define in your own ways. So these are the technical concepts. We have to follow the technical concept. You're getting it? For example, say related to the computer science, say what is attachment? Hey, in computer science, in computer, what is attachment? Opposite of anger, right? So this is where you are mixing up the concepts. You're getting it? Mixing up the concepts. Attachment in the context of the emotions, attachment in the context of the computer science, right? Computer application. The concept is the same word, different meanings. You're getting it? So you must have seen this, the word poster, where the young monk who's already exposed to all these computer things, he asked the master, who is least aware of how the working of the computer, and the young monk asked, "Sir, can I use computer?" And the sir said, "Okay, computer. There's something there these young people use, right? Okay. So what he said is, as long as you don't have attachment, right? If you're not attached to the computer, it's fine. You can use it. But in computer science, it's very different meaning, right? Without attachment, right? There's so many emails only for the purpose of sending attachments. You're getting it? So the same word with different meanings. So therefore, don't ever impose your meaning when somebody uses a word. You should be sympathetic, you should be a good listener to see what other person refers to when the person uses a word, entities and isolates. You don't impose your own meaning. You're getting it? Okay. So for these entities, let's say this is a flower and this, how do you know the presence of flower? My mind sees that. So my mind is the subject and the flower is the object. So there's the object-subject interaction happening. So when we say whether one or many is again about the interaction between the object and the subject. So let's say the book and the color of the book are this one and different. So this can be understood in two ways. One, going towards the object to see whether the book and the color of the book, these two are one and different by going towards the object. This is one way of seeing it. Another way of describing that is by going closer towards the subject. You're getting it? And how to go towards the subject? Don't worry, this is what we're going to discuss. Okay. Same, let's say that, am I correct to say, if you ask me the question, where's the book? I'll say, this is a book. Am I correct or not correct? So here, did I go to the object or did I go to this subject? I go to the object. I go to point to the object. Where's the book? I said, this is a book. Correct, not correct? Good, which means I'm looking for the entities. When I go to the object, I'm looking for the entities. When I go towards the subject, I'm looking for the isolates. And why, when I go to the subject, it is known as isolate, again will be explained later. For time being, what is the entities? When you go to point to the object, that is you're looking for the entities. When you go to point to the subject, you're looking for the isolates. You're getting it? Okay, now, if you ask me, where is the book? I said, this is book. Correct, not correct? Correct. Did I go to point to the object or subject? Object, which means I'm looking for entities or isolates? Entities. Very good. Now you ask me, where is the color of the book? I said, this is the color of the book. Correct, not correct? Correct. You're getting it? So when I go to the object, I can point to the same object for the reference of the two different labels. This is book, this is the color of the book. For both the labels, I point to the same object for the reference, for the referent of the two different labels. I can point to the same object for the reference of the two different labels. What is the book? Here. What's the color of the book? Here. I can point to the same object, which means that these two are entity-wise one. The book and the color of the book, these two are entity-wise one. Okay. Now let's go to look for go towards the subject. Towards subject, but when you go to the subject, you are looking for oneness and differentness. Going towards the subject is known as isolate-wise one or isolate-wise different. You're getting it? Okay. How to go towards the subject to look for the book and the color of the book, right? How do we go to the subject? Let me explain. So easy would be the table and the top plank of the table. It's the same, the book and the color of the book. The table and the color of the table. Or table and the top plank of the table. Okay. Do you agree with me that if you ask me where is the table, I say this is table. Correct or not correct? Correct. Correct. Where is the top plank of the table? I said this is the top plank of the table. Correct or not correct? Correct. Correct. So entity-wise, the table and the top plank of the table, these two are same. Entity-wise one. Now let's go to the subject. How do we go to the subject? Close your eyes. Don't look at the table. Close your eyes. Now think of the table. Think of the table in front of me. Think of the table. So subjectively you are thinking. You are not looking at the table. You are just thinking subjectively. Okay, now think of the top plank of the table. Think of the top plank of the table. Good. Now raise open your eyes and tell me, is there any difference between the two? When you think of the table, when you think of the top plank of the table, is there a difference? If the answer is yes, raise hands. Okay. Srim Purila, would you share with us how these two, in your thought, these two came as different? How? Okay, so Ajahn Purila is saying that when you think of the top line of the table, just a flat top without the legs. When you think of the table of top, the flat top plus the legs all together. Do you agree? So so when you think subjectively in your thought with respect to your subject, when you look at how they appear to your subject, to your thought, the top line of the table appears as something just flat, and the table appears as flat with the legs, right? Okay, so these two appear as different or same? Different. You're getting it? So in your thought, these two appear as different. On the object, we can point to the same object, right? Entity-wise same, but in your thought, these two appear as different. So isolated-wise, different. You're getting it? Okay. Now, why is that referred to as isolate-wise? Isolate, when you go towards the subject. Why is that referred to as isolate? Okay, the table and top line of the table, these two are isolated. These two are isolated as different by your thought. You're getting it? By your thought. Your thought isolated the two things. The table is a flat top line with the legs, and the top line is just a flat thing. So these two are seen as separate. These two are separated in your thought. On the object, you cannot separate. Oh, this is a table, this is the top line of the table. You cannot separate. If you remove the top line table disappears. You're getting it? So on the object, you cannot separate the two, but these two are isolated by your subject. So therefore, table and top line of the table, these two are entity-wise one. Isolated-wise? Very good. Okay. For your information, for a very quick, they say tip, is that the relationship between any two objects, the relationship between two things, which are the whole and the parts. Top line is the table is the whole, and the top line is okay. Relationship between the whole and the parts is always entity-wise one, isolated-wise different. Don't forget it. Anything which is whole and parts, the relationship is always entity-wise one, isolated-wise different. You're getting it? Okay, let's say the person and the person's body. The person and the person's body. Okay, let's say Peter and Peter's body. These two are entity-wise one is different. Entity-wise, isolated-wise. Why? What makes you think that Peter and Peter's body, these two are entity-wise one, isolated-wise different? Why? Because these two are related as whole and the parts. You getting it? This related whole and parts. Okay. So with this, can you give me an example of what is entity-wise one? Quick, some examples. Raise hands, very quick, just to save time. Geshe Dorji Damdul. Huh? Pen and? Okay. What did I say? What was my question? Okay, pen and the color of the pen. Okay, perfect. Yes.
Bed and mattress.
Huh?
Bed and mattress.
Bed and mattress. These were entity-wise one. Okay, we cannot separate the two. You can or you cannot? You can. Which means these two are entity-wise different. No? Because you can point to two different objects. This is mattress, this is bed. No? You remove the mattress, is it bed or not? It's not a bed. It's a bed frame, it's not a bed. Okay, so which means that you cannot buy a bed without a mattress. But there are many shops. We sell beds. We sell beds, right? And mattress you have to go buy from the other shop. You can buy the bed without mattress. Okay. $10.
Tendu as a father and Tendu as a husband.
Okay, then there's the father and then there's the husband. What is that? Is that N was one or different? N was one. Good.
Shoes and the size of shoes.
Shoes and the size of the shoes. These two are what? N was one. Okay, can you give an example of what is isolated wise one? Isolated wise one. Water and chew. Okay, what is chew? Hey, Chelsea, what is chew? You know. Okay, you ask her. Okay, you even don't know who the person said. Acha Kibala.
Water and chew. Chew is Tibetan, water in Tibetan.
Okay. So chew and water, the chew means water. So these two are different labels, but actually it's the same object, identical. These two are identical. These are the isolated wise one. Okay, now a little bit more complicated. Can you give an example of what is entity-wise different, isolated-wise different? Quick. Nicola? Table and pillar. Table and pillar, these two are entity-wise different. How many agree with Nicola Resens? And also isolated-wise different. You agree? Good. Okay. The more examples, anybody? What is entity-wise different, isolated-wise different? Yes. This is the one. Huh?
Cow and pig.
Huh?
Cow and pig.
Cow and pig. Cow and pig. Oh, that's interesting. These two are entity-wise different. Are you sure? Isolated-wise different. Are you sure? How many agree with the one that reasons? All of you agreed. Okay. Good. Can you give an example of what is entity-wise one, isolated-wise one? Quick. Reasons. Reasons. What is entity-wise one, isolated-wise one? Raise your hands, those who have the answer. Okay, Gabor?
Gabor is 9 and Gabor is 9.
Huh?
Gabor is 9 and Gabor is 9.
Gabor's mind and Gabor's mine. M-I-N-E.
No, M-I-N-D, M-I-N-D. Mind and mind.
M-I-N-D and M-I-N-D. Gabor's mind and Gabor's mind. Are these two entities one? Hey, Gabor's mind. Are these two entities one different? One. Isolated was one or different? One. Very good. Can you give me an example of what is entity-wise one, isolated-wise different? Raise hands. Those who can, those who have the answer, raise hands. Example of entity-wise one, isolated-wise different. Okay, the Parulji?
Hand and fingers.
Hand and fingers. How many agree with Parulji? These two are entity-wise one, isolated-wise different. Okay. Parag, do you have other examples? What is earth? Isolated-wise different. That's interesting. Earth is entity-wise one. How many agree with Parag? Entity-wise one. Yes, no. Isolated-wise one. No, isolated-wise different. Yes, no. No? Earth. Planet Earth, right? Or the earth. Earth, water, earth. Which one? No, there are two. There are two. One is planet Earth, the planet Earth, and the other one is the Earth as opposed to the other planets, Mercury and so forth. This is one Earth. Other one is the ground, Earth. So which do you want?
Planet.
The planet Earth. Planet Earth. What is that? And isolated was different.
Entity-wise one and isolated-wise different.
Okay, this planet Earth, is that isolated was different? Huh? Isolated was different. Isolated was one or different? With hands. How many? Isolated was planet Earth. Is that isolated was one with hands? Planet Earth. Isolated was one with hands. Or isolated was different with hands. What about other hands? There's some hands missing. What's that? Planet Earth. Okay, this is the one that tell me. Planet Earth, is it Asura was one or different?
Different.
Asura was different.
If you put on one left side of Earth, it's still Earth. If you put on the right side of Earth, it's still Earth. Different.
Okay, so you don't have the Asura was one. Do you have an example of Asura was one? What?
Pig.
Pig. Pig, the one ear is different from the other ear, right? So this Asura was different. Of course they're different.
Pig ear is part of pig.
Huh? And planet one part is part of Earth, other part is also part of Earth. Okay. So what happened now? Okay, Sanchuda, tell me.
The color red.
No. First we have to resolve this. You know what Parak said? Planet Earth. He said Asura was one or different? Yes, Asura was one. You're getting it? So to say Asura was different, there must be, say, in your thought, there should be two different things coming in your being. You're getting it? Yes, Asura was the. Okay, now, Sanchuda, tell me, what example you want to give?
The color red is actually plus one and entity wise one.
No. What are you looking for? Entity was wise, one, entity wise, Asura was different. What example do you? Huh?
Oh, then I misunderstood that.
Okay. Yeah.
When we say planet Earth, don't we have to mention two separate, two things to say whether the entity wise one or different?
Not necessary. So just the planet Earth, is it entity was one or different? Entity was one. Asura was not different, is Asura was one. This is Umla.
Example.
What example? Example of? We are here to get there. So my question is, what examples do you have for entity was one, Asura was different? Entity was one, Asura was different. Anyone? Okay, yes. Here. Fan and? Okay, fan and the blades of the fan. These two are what? Entity was one or different? Okay. How many agree with your name again? Sorry? Shivani. How many agree with Shivani? Raise hands. Okay, all of you agree? Good? Good. My next question. Can you give me an example of what is isolated was one, entity was different? Raise hands. Just raise hands. Raise hands. Yeah, Shura Dendola.
Flower, its shape and its color.
Say it again.
The flower, its shape and its color.
Flowers shape and its color. Good. Anyone else? Raise hands. My question is, just raise your hands, those who like to give the examples of what is isolated was one, entity was different. Raise hands. Raise your 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 hands. Okay, yes, Tumala.
Water and pani.
Water and pani. Pani is a Hindi word for water, right? Okay, anyone else? Raise hands. Raise your hands. Anyone else? No one. How many of you have the example? Raise hands. How many of you have the example of what is isolated was one, entity was different? Raise hands. How many of you have the examples? You don't have. Only one, two. Chanchul, you have the example?
The gold paint on the Buddha and the gold paint on a t-shirt statue.
Okay, gold paint of the Buddha and gold paint of the Lama Tisha, right? Okay, that is isolated was one, entity was different. Okay, we at least got like 3 examples. Okay, we need more examples. You already give the example, right? Chun water, chun pani. Anybody else? No examples? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the no, this is not what I'm asking. Who has the example? Who has the illustrations of what is isolated was one, entity was different?
But the examples that just came.
No, do you have the example or not? Those who have the example raise hands. You already give the example. You have more examples. You have more examples. Okay, so the one has many. How many such examples you have? Huh? Lots and lots. Okay, so here in Bodhicitta Retreat Series 18, we are so lucky that at least we got 3 or 4 examples, and then the Dalai has lots and lots of examples, right? Whereas the Buddha never found this example. Even the Buddha, the omniscient one, he never found this example. What is entity-wise, isolated-wise one, entity-wise different. The Buddha never found such examples, but here in the Bodhicitta, the what? In both guys we found many examples, right? Okay, so in other words, what is isolated-wise one should necessarily be entity-wise one. You're getting it? You can never have what is isolated-wise one, entity-wise different. If it is isolated-wise one, it should necessarily be entity-wise one. It can never be entity-wise different. Let's not forget it. Okay. Now, tell me, how many such isolates are there with this flower? The flower, the color of the flower, shape of the flower, not being a flower not being a chocolate, flower being impermanent, flower not being permanent. How many such isolates are there? Prerag? Infinite examples are there. You're getting it? Okay, infinite examples. So, of the infinite examples, you need to just the same. You need to pick up the precise isolate, which is the emptiness. Out of millions, you should be able to pick up the precise, what is to be identified as emptiness. You're getting it? So that should be. So let's say that if I said, okay, this is flower, this is empty of being a chocolate, this is empty of being objective existence, this is empty of being permanent. There are so many such isolates are there. Of these isolates, which is the one that you should pick up as if you are to meditate on emptiness, which isolate should you pick up? Emptiness of object. Don't pick up the objective existence. You're getting it? It's a disaster. This is the greatest of blunder, right? So it's worse than picking up the empty absence of chocolate. And this absence of chocolate is existent. Objective existence is non-existent in the first place. You're getting it? So what should we pick up? Prerag? Emptiness of objective existence. This is what should be picked up. You're getting it? Okay. So from this, let's say that when you meditate on emptiness, you see the self is just nothing but made of the 6 elements. Or the flowers but nothing made of the, say millions of atoms. So there's one possibility, one isolate is the flower, another isolate millions of atoms. Still another aspect is that in these millions of atoms there's no chocolate, absence of chocolate. And still another is in these millions of atoms there's no permanent phenomena. And so in the millions of atoms there is no objective existence. There are so many such isolates are there. From there you should be able to pick up emptiness of objective existence. The isolate of the emptiness of objective existence. The moment when you meditate on emptiness of a flower, the moment the atoms come to your mind, you are not meditating on the emptiness because you picked up the isolate of the atoms, which is a positive phenomena. And emptiness should necessarily be negative phenomena. You're getting it? Okay, we'll stop here. Deyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhiswaha Deyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswaha Tyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Sangate Bodhiswaha. Okay, we'll do quick dedication, page 54, I think. 52. I dedicate the merits thus gathered towards the realization of the deeds and the prayers of our Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to the 3 times and to the upholding of the doctrine of scripture and insight. May I in all life, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect in the 2 stages. From my true collections, vast space that I've amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom eyes blinded by ignorance.